I had some medical stuff and I was in the hospital for 70 days. When I got out of the hospital, those 8-pound guitars were too heavy. I can't tell you how many people now have bought Strandbergs because of my affiliation with Strandbergs. They're like, wait, you're an old guy playing this weird guitar. Why?
For you, you always say like you'll hold a Strandberg and you go, "This is my Blackguard Tele." And to
Yeah.
me, I love to hear you say that because to me, I'm like, to me, a Tele is a Tele. I've got a Tele over here. Like to me, I own a
There,
Tele right
right
there.
there.
I actually
Yeah.
have that same guitar. I bought one of those recently. That's the new Japanese.
Yeah, that's the
Uh,
JV Mod custom, right? I mean, that one has Ron Ellis pickups in it. I don't know if yours.
yes. No, mine does not. But I saw you do that kind of Nashville mod and it inspired me. I'm like, ooh, could I do that? I
Yeah.
actually leave it in New York in storage because I gig a lot in New York, and I wanted a guitar
Oh,
so I
cool.
I could just leave one in New York without flying back and forth with the
Well, and that's a
guitar.
perfect one because you can adjust the truss rod, right at
Exactly.
the headstock. Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I'm
Adam
loving it.
Levy's got dibs on that.
Okay. Yeah, yeah.
He's like, that would be a good touring telly. You just let me know if you need to let that go.
Okay. So you'll hold this Strandberg and you'll say, "Oh, this is my Blackguard Telly," but you've got a Telly there. But
Yeah.
to me, like I've never been able to wrap my head around the Strandberg guitar being like a Telly thing. Like to me, I think
Oh,
about shredders playing them or whatever. I
yeah.
play a Telly because I want to look like I'm playing a Telly. But but what is it about those guitars that you love? I've actually never played one, but I know so many people who do. Like,
Yeah.
do you love the frets on them, the way they're perfectly in tune? Like what is it about those that you really love?
It's actually, I'll try to do a really short version of it, Zach. So in 2016, I had some medical stuff and I was in the hospital for 70 days. I went from like weighing 165 pounds to weighing 123 pounds. I literally, when I got out of the hospital, was so weak. And the guitar, when I went into the hospital, the guitar I played, I had actually taken my collection of like 3 dozen electric guitars and had a big, moment and had whittled it down to 3 PRS DGTs, 3 different DGTs. Actually, 4, because that's another story. Anyway, when I got out of the hospital, those 8-pound guitars were too heavy for me to play. And I got so fatigued so fast, even my left hand got tired so fast, even was playing nines on electric or tens. I guess I did have those strings with 11s, but still, I just got tired so fast. It was exactly the time when the Strandberg came out with the Salin model, which is that Tele-ish single cutaway. And the Salin, I don't know if you know this, Salin is actually a town in Sweden where they hold the Swedish country picking championships. And I'm like, wait, there is a Swedish country picking championships? He's like, yep. I've always been really inspired by it. I wanted to do it a single cut. I love that they do that. I have one that's set up as an Esquire with, a black guard that's matte finished like the original ones were. And it's an ash body with a maple neck. Beautiful bird's eye maple neck. It's a previous generation. He's really, in my opinion, improved the neck substantially in this current version. Um, it's one of those things like I don't own any core PRSs anymore. I don't love the shape. Um, but when I'm playing them, I'm not looking at it and they disappear. The Strandbergs for me are just like that. And I can't tell you how many people now have bought Strandbergs because of my affiliation with Strandbergs. They're like, wait, you're an old guy playing this weird guitar. Why? Oh, because it's easier on your hands, because you can play. I got arthritis. I'm 77 years old. I put all my guitars away 3 years ago. Oh my God, I can play again. I mean, and that really, Ola's motto was play more comfortably, play longer, or something like that. That was his earliest, branding images. And that's absolutely true. And it's funny, the only guitar I have here currently that really competes with that junior is there's a metal guy named Paul Masvidal who used to have a signature Strandberg single pickup guitar. He had an EMG in it with a active preamp and all this stuff. I asked those guys to send me one because I had this idea of bar rig for the future. And I was like, okay, so you're going to be playing a Stomp XL and a Strandberg with a single pickup like you would for a straight rock blues gig. Single pickup's all you need, whatever. I reached out to Bare Knuckles. I got a pickup that you could easily switch from series to parallel. You can really get a great P90 sound with it. The guitar weighs like 5 pounds. It's hollow with a maple top and then a burl on top of it. It looks totally metally and it sounds like a junior because it's just incredibly resonant. I think if you were, I mean, I'm 5'10", 150 pounds. If you're a bigger person, a Strandberg's going to look like a toy. But on me, I ran a clip in a video recently where I was playing. I have a Salin that's semi-hollow with where Lindy Fralin made me a set of pickups for it to be my burst. I was like, I need this to be a Les Paul. I mean,
Yeah.
if a great burst is a Tele on steroids, couldn't we start with a Tele platform, Lindy, and take it the other way? He was like, oh, I love this project. So he wound me a Blues Special, which is the pickup that Brad used, right? And
Yep.
then he wound me a mini humbucker to match it. So
How
that's what.
close though do you think is your Esquire Strandberg Tele type guitar to say the one behind you? Like, don't you think the ashtray bridge plays an
It's
effect and all that
it's
stuff?
all the bridge. Yeah,
It's
it
all
is all the bridge. It'll get as close as any, you can get Tele style pickups for your Strat. That guitar's not a vibrato bridge, so it gets closer in my opinion because it's all bolted down. And he keeps evolving the bridge. So I don't have the current one. But honestly, I'm not a picker. I'm not a chicken picking guy. So in my hands, it does what it needs to do. I have this because I did a video on the made in Japan fenders, and like I just ordered a Squire Classic Vibe. I like to, even though I don't play on my videos, I like to play the guitars I'm doing the history of for months before I do the history. If I don't have a sense of hands-on, and that was a guitar that came out at that time, it's a perfect example of what they do in Japan. At a glance, it looks just like like a 59 custom, like they're incredibly rare. But then you realize that the neck is a soft V, like a 57. Like what? 56. It's like they stir all these things together, and it's a really cool guitar. I mean, that one weighs like 7 pounds. It's great.